Hey, what's up guys, Anboni here, and today I want to do something a little different. You see, about 4 months ago I made this video asking you guys to ask me whatever questions you might have, and I promised I'm gonna reply in about a week, and well, it's been 4 months and here we are, finally. So a little delayed, but we got there eventually. And I remember Kobrak actually used to do these things on Sunday, so I said, you know, I'm gonna try out his format as well, so I'm stealing it basically. So if you guys have more questions for me to answer next week or maybe in 2 weeks, just leave them in the comments down below, and I'll either reply to them, you know, with a comment or in the next video. Now, first of all, I want to say sorry. I'm gonna butcher all of your names, but I mean, it is what it is. So LT Gamers Litva asks, where do I live? And I live in Dublin, Ireland, Dublin right now. And then Ewan Hale asks, where in Ireland do you live? Dublin. And why the name Anboni? The name actually is from my dad's company. It's kind of funny. So the name actually means AN are the first 2 letters of my real name, which is Andre, by the way. Hi. And then BO stands for, I mean, they're the first 2 letters of my brother's name, and then NI is my last name, and that's like my dad's company, and I don't know, I stole it. Jacob Shark Boy Shark asks, do you want a party? Pants party? Poggy. Next up, it's Merc Gaming, and he says, can you come play on NA servers please? Also, could you do a Shadow Priest guide? I'm new to it and I went from my main Holy Pala and Holy Priest, but I would love some tips for Shadow Priest for 3s and RBGs. Love, Merc. Well, Merc, tips for Shadow, I'm gonna make a guide, like a proper guide, soon enough. It's in the making actually, but some very quick tips, just spam VT. That's all you need to do. For BGs, Arena, spam Vampiric Touch and Mind Blast on cooldown, and then go in Void Form when you can. That's pretty much all you have to do. And about NA servers, I really want to do it. I really want to go and play on the NA servers. The idea of AP grind and AK grind and PvP talents grind kind of put me off a lot. But I think as we're closing into 7.3, I think I'm actually gonna give in and go on the US servers. I'm not really sure if I want to go Alliance or Horde on US. I think I want to go Horde still. But I don't know, maybe you guys can help me with that. I don't know what most people play there, but I think I'm still gonna stay an undead Shadow Priest. J. O'Byrne asks, if you were to play another class, what would it be and why? My second favorite class after Shadow Priest has to be, right now, Windwalker Monk. And even though I haven't played a Windwalker ever since the Legion beta, I don't even have a Windwalker on live servers higher than level 60. I feel like Windwalkers are extremely fun because they're pretty much the opposite of Shadow Priest in terms of gameplay. Now, Shadow Priest is very good in team fights, very good utility, very bad mobility, and terrible 1v1, pretty bad control 1v1, whereas a Windwalker Monk is the exact opposite. I feel like their mobility is insane, their 1v1 potential is probably one of the best in the game, and they can do solo things, like they can 1v2, they can 1v3 even. I mean, granted, your opponents have to be pretty bad, I imagine, but you do have that option of, you know, instant AoE burst, like a really high AoE burst with Fist of Fury. And if I were to play a Windwalker, I would definitely play the Whirling Dragon Punch. It feels like there's such a huge meme potential with that talent, and also Tiger Eye Brew, of course. Whereas a Shadow Priest, I mean, I'm not saying Shadow Priests are bad, but in a 1v3 or a 1v2, Shadow Priests are bad because your damage just is ramp up. You have to wait and wait until your dots tick faster and faster, and you go in Void Form, and then your dots tick even faster, and you know they do more damage. Whereas again, a Windwalker has the mobility. You can kite, you can burst really hard, you can control. That's it. I guess I'm just a little jealous of Windwalker monks. Appletart72 asks, are you originally from Ireland? I can't tell if I'm not used to your accent or you're from somewhere else. Great videos, thanks. Well, thank you, Apple Tart. And no, I'm originally from Romania and I moved to Ireland about 2 years ago, a bit under 2 years ago. So that's where my accent is from. It's a lot of people have a really hard time detecting my accent. They know it's some Bulgaria slash something like that, but it's hard to pinpoint, I guess. So there you have it. Next up, Pedro Sol Hosen asks, how many priests does it take to headshot a player with Shadow Crash? Damn. I imagine like maybe 8 or 10, depending on if you crit or not. But 8 to 10 probably. That would be actually pretty funny to see. But the good thing is Shadow Crash is AoE, so wait, I'm theory crafting now. Imagine you play a BG, an RBG, with a Blood Decay and 9 Shadow Priests. And all the Shadow Priests Shadow Crash the DK, and right before all the Shadow Crashes land, the Blood Decay grips the entire enemy team in, and then you headshot everyone. Serkan91 asks, what is your second favorite class / spec in WoW? And just like I said before, especially in terms of gameplay, I would have to give it to Windwalker Monks right now. It's just their insane mobility and insane 1vx potential with, you know, all of their bursts being AoE pretty much, with Fist of Fury, what's it called, the Strike of the Windlord and Whirling Dragon Punch. They're all AoE and they all do a ton of damage. So, plus the insane mobility and pretty decent survivability. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, since I don't play a Windwalker myself yet, of course I only see the potential and the strong points in a Windwalker Monk. But maybe once I would play one, I wouldn't be so hyped about it. I don't know, maybe Windwalkers do have struggles. Maybe the insane 1vx potential I'm mentioning isn't really that real. I don't know, but for me it looks like a very appealing playstyle. A very interesting class and spec. Next up, Stefan says, Levitate or Gtfo? Okay.
Okay, my hands are... Where should I keep my hands? I'll keep my hands like this so you can see them. So here we go. I can't do this for long, but here it is. Oh.
Easy. Ko Ilan Ferreira Rodriguez, I think I almost nailed that, says, WTF, half of me wants you to be happy and work hard, and the other half wants to watch your videos. Well, why not both, right? Am I right? Why not both? And then David Ipate, I'm sorry, I don't know, asks, why McDonald's? Well, first of all, McDonald's was... Well, first of all, I needed a job, okay? I came to Dublin, I came to Ireland, and I didn't have a job. I needed the job to pay the rent and all that. So McDonald's was really close, they were hiring, and I needed a job ASAP, so I got that one. And the best part about it was that it was extremely close to home. I would just go downstairs and I would basically be at work. Cal Fayes asks, was that only vlogging thing a joke? Yeah, it was a joke. WowMaster55 asks, will you fight me 1v1? Definitely. You name it. You know, time and location. And what do you think about rated 1v1 arenas? I think they would be unbalanced as shit, but I would definitely like to see it just because it's fun, I think. I would give, I want to say, content creators, like for YouTube or people that stream on Twitch, some really decent content, especially if you're a class that's really good in 1v1s. Again, obviously it's gonna be broken as hell. Some classes are gonna dominate, but just for the sake of entertainment, I think, sure, why not? Paul Gazagnair, I'm sorry, man. Any advice for returning Shadow Priest from Wrath of the Lich King? Wow, that's a long time ago. And how to gear fast in PvP? What should be my main focus? BG, arena, dungeons. Paul, if you're worried about gearing, that's the least of your worries. Now I know you asked me this 4 months ago, so you're probably up to date with all your gear already and everything. If you decided to return to the game, but if you're still wondering, or if someone else is wondering, then first of all, gear itself is not that important for PvP at all. If your aim is to just PvP, just BG and arena and nothing else, then you don't even need gear. I mean, it does help, don't get me wrong, it helps a little bit, but it's not gonna make a huge difference. What is gonna make a bigger difference though is artifact power, and of course PvP talents. PvP talents should be the first thing you grind as soon as you get to 110, and the easiest way to grind those is either by doing the brawl. If you're in a week with a good brawl, like the 40-man brawl, the Taran Mill versus South Shore one, was really good for leveling your PvP talent. You can get into some RBG groups, maybe if you make your own RBG group, because RBGs give you a ton of honor. Then you can also do the world quests, the world PvP quests, which are not PvP, they're still PvE. You go and you fight a bunch of NPCs and you get a quite large amount of honor from those. And from this process of grinding your PvP talents, you're gonna grind quite a lot of artifact power as well, especially if you have your artifact knowledge at 40k, at 40. If you don't have artifact knowledge at 40, then that's the first thing you should do. Try to get your artifact knowledge at 40, because that is capped right now at 40. And it's not even worth farming AP unless you're capped on artifact knowledge. And that's it. I mean, gear will come from BGs and arenas eventually. If you really want to focus on PvE and getting gear, that's I'm not really sure about that. I think the best way to go would be LFG. LFR is, you know, as soon as you have the item level required to join LFR, you're gonna be geared in no time with LFR, and then you can go straight into the older raids. Like even Heroic Nighthold is pretty easy now with LFR gear. So there you go, good luck. Dr. Pepper says, dude, that is the most beautiful place. WTF, you said you worked at McDonald's, lying bitch. It really was a really nice place to live in. It was really nice and close to the sea. The view was great, but I still worked in McDonald's. I mean, I don't see the connection there. Yeah. Thanks, I guess. And the last question comes from Satanic again. Will you set up a Patreon anytime soon? I bet a lot of other people would really love to support you. Keep up the good work, and I'll hope to see more content from you in the future. Well, Satanic, you know, I really appreciate the enthusiasm of helping me that way, and I'm really happy that you enjoy my content that much. About Patreon, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm probably gonna do it at some point, maybe, but not right now. I just don't feel like I deserve it. That's just bottom line. Like, there's a lot of things going through my mind when I think of Patreon, and you know, at the end of the day, it's like, why? You know, why? So not right now, but I don't know, maybe in the future, we'll see. So that's it for my first, actually it's my second Q&A video. If you guys have any other questions, make sure you type them down in the comment section below, and maybe I'll do one of these again next Sunday, or maybe the Sunday after that, or maybe in a random day of the week, I don't know. But until then, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!